We like to think we are modern, we believe we are advanced. Look at our shining cities, our towers of glass and steel. They scrape the sky, they gleam in the sun. We send messages across the world in an instant. We hold devices in our hands that contain all the knowledge of humanity. It feels like progress. It feels like we have left the ancient world far behind, a dusty relic in a history book. But have we? If you listen closely, past the hum of the servers and the roar of the traffic, you can hear a whisper. It is an old whisper, a ghost from a fallen city. It is the whisper of Babylon. Ancient Babylon was a marvel of its time. It had great walls and magnificent gates. Its hanging gardens were a wonder of the world. People flocked to it, drawn by its power and its promise of wealth. It was a city of ambition, a city that reached for the heavens with its great ziggurat, the Tower of Babel. They believed they could build their way to greatness, that their own hands could shape their destiny. They were proud, they were powerful, and they were blind to the rot that was growing within their own walls, a decay that would eventually bring their mighty towers crashing down into the dust. Today we are building our own Babylon. It isn't made of brick and mortar alone, it is a global system, a network of ambition and desire that spans the entire planet. Our towers are not just physical buildings, they are vast corporations and complex financial markets. Our common language is not one of shared culture, but the cold, hard language of money. We chase quarterly earnings and stock market highs with the same feverish energy the Babylonians used to build their ziggurat. We tell ourselves it is for the good of all, for progress, for a better future. But this is a grand and terrible illusion. Beneath the shiny surface of our world lies a darkness, a collection of secrets we dare not speak aloud. It is a world built on greed, held together by lies, and fueled by a deep, gnawing selfishness that eats away at our very souls. We live in an age of information, or so we are told. Every day we are flooded with news, updates, images, videos. Our screens glow with promises of connection and truth. We scroll through feeds that show us perfect lives, perfect holidays, perfect families. We are told what to buy, what to think, who to hate, by forces we cannot see. This constant stream of information feels like knowledge, but it is often just a carefully constructed lie. It is a digital fog designed to keep us confused, distracted, and obedient. The truth has become a rare and precious commodity. This web of deceit is woven by powerful hands. Corporations spend billions to shape our desires, making us feel empty without their latest product. They sell us sickness, then they sell us the cure. Political groups craft simple, angry messages to divide us, turning neighbor against neighbor. They use fear as a weapon, painting the world in black and white, with no room for questions or doubt. The news, which should be a clear window to the world, has become a distorted mirror, reflecting back the biases of those who own it. We are living inside a grand performance, and most of us don't even know we are the audience. The most dangerous part of this grand deception is how we participate in it ourselves. We carefully curate our own lives online, presenting a mask to the world. We post pictures of our happiest moments, hiding the sadness, the struggle, the quiet desperation. We become actors in our own lives, performing for an unseen crowd. This creates a vicious cycle. We see the fake perfection of others and feel that our own messy, complicated lives are a failure. We are comparing our real, behind-the-scenes struggles to everyone else's highlight reel. A contest we are destined to lose. This digital Babylon is a tower built on falsehoods. It promises connection but delivers isolation. It promises truth but feeds us comforting lies. We have become so used to the deception that we can no longer recognize the real thing. Our critical thinking has been dulled, replaced by a quick, emotional reaction to a headline or an image. We are told 1,000 different stories about who we are, and we have forgotten how to find the truth for ourselves. We are lost in a maze of our own making, a labyrinth of lies from which there seems to be no escape. Greed is the engine of our new Babylon. It is the fire that burns at the heart of our society, driving us forward at a frantic pace. We are taught from a young age that to have more is to be more. More money, a bigger house, a faster car, the latest phone. These are the symbols of success, the idols we are taught to worship. We work longer hours, we take on more debt, we sacrifice our time with family and friends. We have become a society of hungry ghosts, forever consuming, but never feeling full. This relentless pursuit of wealth creates a brutal and unforgiving world. It is a system that rewards the ruthless and punishes the kind. We see it in the way corporations put profits before people, polluting our planet, exploiting their workers for a few extra points on the stock market. We see it in the way our financial systems are designed to make the rich richer, a giant machine that funnels wealth upwards, leaving scraps for everyone else. It is a game that is rigged from the start, but we are all forced to play. We are told this is just the way things are, a natural law like gravity. The golden chains of greed are heavy, but they are also comfortable. They offer us the illusion of security and freedom. We believe that if we just get that next promotion, that next pay rise, then we will finally be happy. We will finally be free, but it is a trap. The more we have, the more we have to lose, and the more we fear losing it. Our possessions begin to possess us. We become slaves to our own ambition, chained to a treadmill of earning and spending that has no end. We are running as fast as we can, but we are not getting anywhere. This worship of wealth has poisoned our values. We have come to measure a person's worth not by their character, their kindness, or their wisdom, but by the size of their bank account. We celebrate billionaires as heroes, regardless of how they made their fortune. We look down on those who choose a life of service over a life of profit. We have forgotten that the most important things in life, love, friendship, community, and a sense of purpose, cannot be bought. We have sold our birthright for a bowl of golden soup, and our souls are starving. In the heart of our modern Babylon, there is an empty throne. The seat of community, of shared purpose, and of concern for others sits vacant. In its place, a new king has been crowned, the self. We have been taught that our own happiness, our own needs, and our own desires are the most important things in the universe. Look out for number one, they tell us. You do you. This philosophy sounds empowering. It sounds like freedom, but it is a lonely and destructive creed. It is the gospel of selfishness, and it is tearing our world apart. This relentless focus on the self makes us blind to the needs of others. It creates a society where empathy is seen as a weakness. If someone is struggling, it must be their own fault. If people are poor, they must not be working hard enough. If the planet is dying, it's not our problem to solve today. This mindset allows us to walk past the homeless person on the street without a second glance. It allows us to ignore the news of suffering in faraway lands. It turns our hearts to stone, building walls around us to keep the messy, inconvenient problems of the world out. This culture of selfishness is not an accident. It is actively promoted and sold to us. It is the core message of advertising, which tells us we deserve to indulge ourselves. It is the hidden lesson in our competitive education and work systems, which teach us that we must climb over others to get to the top. We are encouraged to see ourselves as individual consumers, not as members of a community. We are islands, isolated from one another, connected only by the transactions we make. We have forgotten how to be part of something larger than ourselves. When selfishness reigns, society begins to crumble. Trust erodes. The bonds that hold us together weaken. Why cooperate when you can compete? Why help someone when there is nothing in it for you? Why sacrifice for the future when you can have it all now? These are the questions that a selfish society asks. The result is a world of lonely individuals all chasing their own fleeting pleasures adrift in a sea of meaninglessness. We have gained our personal freedom, but we have lost our collective soul. The throne is empty and the kingdom is falling into ruin. We see the cracks forming in the walls of our Babylon. We feel the ground shake beneath our feet. We know, in the quiet moments late at night, that something is deeply wrong. We see the lies, we feel the bite of the golden chains, we sense the cold emptiness of a world ruled by selfishness. So why do we do nothing? Why do we stand by like a silent crowd, watching as the towers of our own civilization begin to lean? The answer is as simple as it is terrifying. We are paralyzed by comfort and fear. Our modern world, for all its faults, is incredibly comfortable for many of us. We have endless entertainment at our fingertips. We have food delivered to our doors. We have distractions to fill every waking moment. The system we live in, this new Babylon, is designed to keep us just happy enough not to question it too deeply. It numbs us with convenience and pleasure. To truly confront the darkness would mean sacrificing this comfort. It would mean making difficult choices and facing inconvenient truths. It is easier, so much easier, to simply change the channel and pretend everything is fine. Fear is the other great silencer. The system is vast and powerful. What can one person do against such a giant? The thought of standing up and speaking out is frightening. We fear losing our jobs, our social standing, our comfortable lives. We fear being ridiculed, being called crazy or extreme. The crowd itself becomes a source of pressure. When everyone else is silent, our own voice feels dangerously loud. It is safer to blend in, to keep your head down, to go along with the flow. even if you know the river is heading towards a waterfall. We also tell ourselves comforting stories to justify our inaction. We say, this is just how the world works, or it has always been this way. We rationalize the greed and the lies as necessary evils, the price of progress. We engage in a kind of willful blindness, a collective agreement not to see what is right in front of us. This denial is a powerful psychological defense. It protects us from the overwhelming anxiety and guilt that would come from truly acknowledging our part in this broken system. We look away because looking too closely would shatter the fragile peace we have built for ourselves. The ancient Babylonians built their city on the fertile banks of the Euphrates River. The water gave them life. It grew their crops and sustained their people. They understood on a fundamental level that their great civilization depended on the health of the world around them. We, in our modern Babylon, have forgotten this basic lesson. In our frantic pursuit of growth and profit, we have treated the earth not as a source of life, but as a limitless mine and a bottomless garbage dump. We are poisoning the well from which we all must drink. The evidence of this desecration is all around us, a festering wound on the body of the planet. Our skies are choked with smog, our rivers run thick with chemical sludge, our oceans are swirling with plastic waste. Entire species are vanishing forever, their silent screams lost in the roar of our machines. The very climate of our world is changing, growing more violent and unpredictable with each passing year. We are witnessing the slow-motion destruction of our only home, a catastrophe of our own making. This is not a problem for the future, it is a crisis happening right now. This destruction is a direct result of the greed and selfishness that rule our society. It is the logical endpoint of a system that values short-term profit above all else. Corporations fight against environmental regulations because they cut into their earnings. Governments delay action because it is politically difficult and economically costly. As individuals, we continue our habits of overconsumption because it is convenient. We are all complicit in this great act of self-harm, participants in a slow, collective suicide. We are sawing off the branch on which we are sitting. The tragic irony is that the poorest among us, who have contributed the least to this problem, are the ones who suffer the most. They are the ones whose lands are flooded, whose crops fail, and whose water is poisoned. The wealthy can build walls to protect themselves from the rising tides, at least for a while. It is a brutal injustice, a clear sign of the moral sickness at the heart of our world. We have built a Babylon that consumes its own foundations, a glorious city that is slowly sinking into the toxic swamp it has created. The ruins of Babylon stand today as a quiet monument to human arrogance. It was once the greatest city in the world, a symbol of power and permanence. Its kings believed their empire would last forever. They could not imagine a world without Babylon. And then, it was gone. Its fall was not a single dramatic event but a slow decay from within. Corruption, internal division, a loss of shared purpose weakened it until it was just a hollow shell, ready to be conquered, abandoned to the sands of time. History whispers a clear warning to us: no empire is too big to fail. We are making the same mistakes. We look at our global civilization, incredible technology, interconnected economies, and we believe it is indestructible. We cannot imagine our way of life collapsing, but the foundations are crumbling. The social trust that holds a society together is being eroded by lies and division. The economic inequality between the rich and the poor is creating deep and dangerous resentment. Our political systems are paralyzed, unable to solve the very real crises we face. We are a society at war with itself, blind to our own fragility. The signs of decay are everywhere if we dare to look. We see it in the rise of extremism and the rejection of reason. We see it in the growing sense of hopelessness and despair, especially among the young. We see it in the way we treat the most vulnerable members of our society. These are not small, isolated problems. They are symptoms of a deep structural sickness, a rot that has taken hold in the foundations of our world. Like a building with a cracked foundation, our society may look strong from the outside, but it is becoming dangerously unstable. The story of Babylon is not just a tale from the past, it is a prophecy. It shows what happens when a society becomes consumed by its own pride and greed. It shows what happens when people forget the values that bind them together. History offers us this lesson for free, written in the dust of fallen empires. We can choose to heed its warning, to look honestly at the cracks in our own foundations and begin the hard work of repair. Or we can continue to believe in our own permanence, to dance and feast while the walls around us slowly crumble. We stand at a crossroads. Before us lie two paths. One path is easy. It is the path we are on now. looking away, choosing comfort over truth, continuing to serve the gods of greed and self. A wide, well-trodden road, it leads directly off a cliff. To continue is to accept Babylon's fate. Civilization decays from within, collapse under its own corruption, inaction, denial, certain ruin. The fall may not come tomorrow, but it will come. The other path is hard, steep, and overgrown, the path of change. Wake up from our comfortable slumber, face the monstrous truths of our time, reject the lies we are fed, seek out what is real, break the golden chains of consumerism, redefine what it means to live a good life, dethrone the selfish self, rebuild our sense of community, shared purpose, responsibility to one another, responsibility to the planet that sustains us. This change does not start in halls of government or boardrooms. It begins inside each of us. It starts with a choice. The choice to question, the choice to care, the choice to live differently, value people over profit, value community over consumption, value truth over comfort. Turn off the screen and talk to your neighbor. Fix something instead of replacing it. Demand better from our leaders and from ourselves. The ghost of Babylon looms over us, a chilling reminder of what is at stake. The choice is ours. We can be the generation that blindly repeated the past's mistakes, the generation with the knowledge and power to change that did nothing. Or we can be the generation that finally learned the lesson, saw the writing on the wall, had the courage to build something new, something better, something that lasts. The towers of our modern Babylon are teetering. We must choose, let them fall, or have the courage to begin again.